Hey, do you have a minute? Welcome back to the podcast, guys. As you see, I have a special guest with me here today. I hope you guys had the chance to check out some of our old videos. And if you watched our old video, one thing that I had said was if you wanted to be on the pod, to DM me, text me, comment on one of the videos, just so that I can bring people on and share people's stories, just like Dom is here sharing her story. So if you don't mind, introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Dominique. Everybody calls me Dom. I am a recent graduate, sports women in sports, of course, and just a 20 something trying to navigate life. So just like a
Period.
lot of your viewers. So yeah.
Period. So you said that you graduated with your degree
Yeah.
in sports.
Yeah, so I went to Temple. Go Owls. Any Owls out there? I went to Temple. I graduated this past May with my BA in journalism with the specification in sports journalism. So I am all over the sports industry. Like I've grown up playing every sport, so I decided to translate that into my career, and it's something that I really am passionate about, that I really love, and something that I'm actively trying to pursue. So yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Wait, I have to like let you guys know some insight stuff. So this is me and Dom's second time recording this episode. The first time we recorded this episode was probably like in October, and we had so many technical difficulties from like recording to audio to no storage. Like it was bad, but that episode was like definitely like the breakthrough for like our friendship because like this is my girl. Like this
Girl.
is my girl. So this podcast is definitely bringing people together and
Yeah,
bringing
for
close bonds
sure.
because like we're back now and it's like we have more chemistry now. So there's
Yes.
much more of a like a flow, more comfortability. And it's just I'm just so excited for this episode. Like I think I'm more excited than the first time.
No, yeah, same. I'm
Yeah.
very excited. I was super excited for the first episode because it was Halloween. Remember, we had our
Mhm.
costumes. Things kind of were a little all over the place, but we had so many good things that we talked about that we didn't get to capture. So we were like, we got to do it again. Like we
Yeah.
have to
We
get
gotta
it.
run
People
that
need to. We
back.
got to run that back. So that's why we decided to come back and do it again. Things obviously they worked out. So now we're back here, and I'm so happy. Me and Siani, we went roller skating last night.
Yeah, it was
Like,
so fun.
and we had the same outfit on, and it was just really cute. And we're definitely getting to know each other. So things are really good right now.
Yeah, we went roller skating yesterday. It was so fun. And this is me and Dom's second time going out and like color coordinated. Like it makes no sense how it just
Yes.
happens randomly. Like I had a black shirt on and a red bottoms, and she
Yeah.
had a red shirt on with black
But not
bottoms.
just like any red. Like it
The
was
same.
like a neon-y, like vibrant red, not
Yeah.
just like a regular red like this. Like we were literally matching, and we were holding hands at the rink,
I'm upload a
and
picture or
we
a
well, we're
video.
gonna, yeah, she's
Yeah.
gonna put a picture on here because we were just so cute,
Yeah.
and it was, we had a really good time, and we've been spending a lot of time together just getting to know each other, and I am really happy to be here back on the pod.
Period. Okay. We're going to jump right into the questions. So, first, we're going to start off with, just talking about Dom's background. So, if you don't mind, could you give us a little insight on your family dynamic?
Yes. So, lately, the past couple of years, I have been trying to distance myself from my identity being wrapped up in my family dynamic because I am the second oldest of 8 kids on my mom's side, and my dad has 5 other kids too. So that are my siblings, um, give or take. Anyway, um, yeah. So I am the second oldest of 8 kids. I grew up with all of them, all of us in the same house. And I definitely took on that parentified child role from a
Mm-hmm.
very young age, just because my mom was a single mom. And um, you know, I guess I just kind of got forced or like put into the role. I'm also like a very caring person. That's been my personality since I was a kid. So, you have siblings, you just automatically love them and you get kind of forced into that role. So, um, but yeah, that is my family dynamic. We are super duper close, very, very united, love them to pieces, but there's definitely some dysfunction. Like it's definitely kind of dysfunctional sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Second
Yeah.
of eight. I have five other siblings, so
Yeah. But I
six
think
of
it's
us.
different because like I feel like a lot of people have a like people will have a lot of siblings, but like they don't all live in the same
Yeah, we.
house. Like
I only grew up with my
I'm
brother.
talking like all eight of us in the house my whole life. Like nobody ever lived anywhere
It's like
else. So
real
it's
life
like
loud house.
real life full house, real
Yeah.
life loud house. So it's definitely different. It's definitely different, a very unique experience. But you know, I'm grateful for it. Like I love my siblings down bad. Like I would never, you know, wish or change like wish for things to be different or to change. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you kind of already answered this question, but like, was there a particular sibling role that you played, and how has that influenced you as an adult?
Yeah, like I said, definitely be having that parentified child role from a very, very young age. Um, as when you're young, you kind of don't really question it because it starts off as like, oh, help. And it starts off as like, you know, help me do this or help me do that. And then it turns into you can't do this because I need you to watch them. And then you start to miss out on things because your role has become so important and like relevant inside your household. So like having that role as at such a young age definitely altered my brain chemistry. You know, feeling like I had to succeed. I had feeling like everyone was looking up to me. I couldn't fail, which is the reason why I'm like an overachiever. I'm very hard on myself. I have anxiety. Um, also like having to be so responsible all the time, you know, like limiting myself, not taking risk, and not really like having fun until I got to college because I just was so afraid that like something bad would happen and you know everybody was looking up to me, so it's like I couldn't really mess up, if that makes sense. So yeah, definitely impacted the adult that I am today. But other than the PTSD and the trauma, the I think it's actually kind of positive because I am very mature and I am very aware of like what it takes to, you know, like take care of your family and like be a mature adult, if that makes sense. So even though I shouldn't have to have experienced it and learned it in that way, I'm grateful for the responsibility that I had at a young age. Yeah.
I definitely feel that, and especially the part where you were saying how like everyone's looking up to you. I feel that as me being the oldest sister, and like I
Yeah.
have five siblings, but
Mhm.
my oldest sibling is my brother, and
Yeah.
then I have four younger sisters under me. So it's like I'm very cautious about
Yeah.
everything that I do, and like
Yeah.
I'm just like having to walk in a certain light because I know that I have
People
four
looking
sets of
at
eyes
you.
looking up at me,
Yeah.
and they're like always, "Oh, Cece's doing this," or like I
Mhm.
do something, and then a couple days later they're
They want
doing
to
the
do
same
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, I mean, like, and people out there, like if you guys have like teen parents or like whatever it may be, is like they're the number one thing they don't want you to do is end up like them. So my
Yeah.
mom was also very, very strict, which caused me to kind of like rebel. So like my little sisters now, they're 14 and 15 and they get to do like whatever they want. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe mommy was so strict. I'd be like, thank me. Cause I went out on a limb for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the one that was like
You broke the
broke
rules.
breaking the rules because I was
Yeah.
just like, this is bullshit. Like I don't have to put up with this shit, you know? So when they talk about like how strict our mom used to be, I just be like, y'all are fucking lucky because if it wasn't for me, y'all would be in the same boat. But I didn't like I was not putting up with that shit. I was like, no, I'm outside. Like what? So yeah.
It really do take that first crash out. Like you gonna have to crash out a couple
Uh-huh.
times
I had to
to.
crash out. I had to crash out a couple of times, but luckily, I'm lucky for the crash outs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy about them. I would never take them back, and it's made me the woman I am today. So, hey,
Pro crash out.
pro
Only
crash
when
out,
necessary though. Only when necessary. When it's not necessary, you're just crashing out for nothing.
pro
You're
crash out, pro crash out, professional crash out. Just kidding. I'm not. I'm really not.
How has growing up in a big family shaped your personality or the way you approach relationships, whether they're friendships, family, and romantic relationships?
You know, like I think one thing that I've noticed about my childhood and my relationship with my family that has affected my relationships as an adult is that there was a lot of conflict growing up. I grew up in a house where like we would get in a fight, say the most horrible things to each other, and then like 2 hours later was like cool, cracking jokes, like whatever the case may be is. And I think that's something that I am actively working on unlearning, is that you cannot say hurtful things to people that you love and expect them to not be hurt by it.
Right.
Like, like I grew up in a place where it's like, oh, damn, I didn't really mean it. Or like, it really hurt my feelings, but I just kind of got over it because, like, oh, that's your family. I love you, blah, blah, blah. But like, that is not love. Like, you should never say things like that. Or bless you, you should
Thank you.
never like say things like that or treat someone that you love like that.
Right.
And I really I learned that from my partner that I'm together with now. Like, just because I'm mad, you can't just say what you want and expect me to not feel in the type of way. Like, no, you fucking hurt my feelings. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't say hurtful things. Bless you. And so yeah, that's definitely one thing that, like, from my childhood that like kind of spilled over into my relationships. And also, and I would say another thing is, out of all of my siblings, I would say that I'm definitely the most like outgoing, um definitely the most like, I'll say like annoying like to them. So I guess like when I started to navigate my own relationships growing up, it kind of made me feel like I had to like water down my personality sometimes for people,
Mm.
um because I guess they kind of like judge me for it, but I realized like I don't need to what I've made bonds with people that I did not need to water my
Right.
personality down for. And I realized like I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but like I don't need to water my personality. Like, people are gonna fuck with it or they're not. And nine
Yeah.
times out of 10, people do like fuck with my personality. But I mean, sometimes it could just be a lot. And I don't think it helps that I'm like pretty funny, smart, sexy with a fat ass and double D's. That like it's intimidating. But yeah, like those are definitely two things from my childhood, or like from my like the experiences I had with my family that kind of like poured into my relationship. But those are negative, so I'll try to talk about something that's positive.
Mhm.
One thing that um I have from my family dynamic is just like loyalty. Like, that's just something that is like really, really serious to me. It's like when you love somebody, and I love my siblings, I love my mom, of course, just like anybody else. You just realize how important it is to be like upfront, honest, and be loyal. Like, no matter what happens, we locked in. Like, what I'm saying? As long as you don't disrespect me. But like, no matter what happens, just being there for somebody through their worst moments. Like, like my siblings were honestly there for me a couple of weeks ago in my worst moment. And I hope one day that I can return the favor to them. And like my relationships with my friends, my romantic relationships, they know that like it don't matter what they're going through, that like I will always, always, always be there for them. So yeah, that's definitely a couple of things to answer that question.
What advice would you give to someone with a big family on maintaining close relationships as you grow older
With like other people or like with your
with your
family.
family?
It's so crazy. I feel like the last time you asked me this question, I was like, oh, like you just have to love each other. But now I have a very different point of view for some reason. It's only been a couple months. I think my advice would definitely be love your family, be there for them in times of need. But like your family, people around your family are just regular people that you just happen to be related to. And sometimes you're just not gonna have that like lovey-dovey personal sleeping together bestie relationship with every single person in your family, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think being you can't have the best relationship with everybody because you're only one person. You know what I'm saying? And there's like so many different personalities in my big family, and I realized like there's nothing I can really do to like get closer to this person, especially if it's not like two side, like especially if it's not like both ways. Like, of course I would love to be super close with all of my family, like close, like with, immediate family members, but I can't, but I would definitely say like my advice is to just say like do what feels right and do what feels authentic. Don't force relationships, no matter who it is. Like, when it's real, you're gonna know it's real. Like my siblings, they know like there's some of them that we really like click, and there's some of them that like we really don't. But like they know it don't matter it don't matter what it is. I'm always gonna be there for them. But we don't have to have the bestest relationship. So I guess my advice is definitely to say like just take what feels right and don't feel pressure to be like the number one person in everybody's life because that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel that. I feel like when you have a lot of siblings, like it's forced upon you. Like you need to be close, you need to be this, you need to be
Mhm.
that. But like a lot of times people don't understand is that everybody has different personalities. Like
Mhm.
sometimes two siblings are not going to be buddy. They're not
Yeah.
going to be best friends, even though y'all live together,
Yeah.
y'all
Grew up
have the same
together.
experiences. You're not going to be best friends just because y'all have different personalities.
Yeah. And I think that's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me and my sisters, like there is five of us, like five of us on my mom's side. And I have one little sister on my dad's side, but she didn't grow up with us. But like even out of all five of them, I would say like two out of the other like two out of four I actually like our personalities are compatible. Like you know what I'm saying? Because like it's kind of like if we weren't siblings, would we even like be like you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But like I love them. They are amazing people with amazing personalities, but we just are not. We don't click. Like we just don't have that like natural like natural connection, like you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying. And I think sometimes you have to just put a little bit more effort into having those relationships with your siblings, and things do change as you get older. You move out the house and then you have to put more effort into getting to know like,
Yeah.
and also the fact that you like continuously keep getting to know your sibling, like you guys are literally growing up together. They're not the same person that they were when they were 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, like even 20, like whatever. So they are constantly evolving, and you never know, there might be that time that might it might not be y'all time, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
things are going to change. Like my both of my sisters have kids now, and I feel like since they've had kids, we've been the closest because it's just like things that bring us together.
Yeah.
So you know, you're not everybody's gonna have a season and everybody's gonna have a reason or whatever the saying is. But um yeah, like just like navigate, it's hard because you're like navigating all these different relationships at different points in time in their life too.
Yeah.
So just like not taking shit personally and just taking what resonates, what feels good, and just being optimistic and continuously putting effort into like keep building those relationships and like being trying to be as close as possible.
I definitely feel that, and like two things that I want to comment on. The one thing is like about people growing and changing. And I feel like also when you grow up with your siblings, sometimes it's hard to like remember that they have their own life and their own
Mhm.
personal experiences as well. Like yes, y'all may go through the same thing at home. Like
Mhm.
I know with me and my brother, like when we departed, I'm not thinking about his life outside of me. When we were at school and I'm just thinking about, oh, CJ, my brother,
Mhm.
CJ in the house with me, like a side character of my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yep.
looking at him like I'm a side character of his
His
life as
life.
well.
Yeah.
And then also just about like things changing as you get older. And that is so true with like moving out the house and stuff like that. I had just sent CJ a meme where it was like, thinking back on our childhood that we'll never be young and getting in trouble together for dumb stuff ever again. Like we're never going to live together and be those kids that we were doing things and like we got in trouble, but it
Yep.
was like those were the funnest times of our life and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it also just kind of allows for more space for a different type of relationship because now
Yeah.
you're older and it's like, okay, now we can actually see what we have in common. Because when you're a kid, sometimes you're forced to have things in common that you really
Yeah.
don't have in common.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I agree. Like my mom a couple of days ago, she was like, "Yeah, me, you, and my two other sisters are gonna go on vacation." And I'm like, first of all, me and my family have never gone on vacation, so I'm like, vacation, like what? And then I really started thinking about it, like, wow, I've never hung out with my mom and my two older sisters before.
mhm.
Like I wonder what would happen. Like I wonder what the vibes would be like. And it's like we're older, we can get on a plane and go do things and have other experiences and not have like all these other side characters in our vibe, you
Yeah.
know? So maybe we would have a vibe better or differently outside of the environment that is always kind of like stressing us out, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So but honestly, like our household really wasn't the place where you could create strong bonds. Like there was just a lot of chaos, a lot of things that was happening that was out of our control as children that impacted our relationships like positively or negatively. So I do think that now that we're adults, we definitely should. I'll be telling them all the time, like I don't want us to be like one of those family feel like I don't want us to be siblings that like don't talk. Like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I want us to be close.
Like,
So
oh, mom has a aunt or mom has a sister, but I don't even really
know
know
her,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. Like I want my sibling, I want my nieces and nephews to know me. Like you know what I'm saying? Even though we live in different state, or even my older sister, she lives in London, so it's like I want him to know me, or nephew. I want him to know me. Like, you know, I don't want to be no stranger, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think putting that effort in as an adult is really important to me. And I think it's gonna become more important as we get older. Everybody starts to have their own careers and stuff like that. Yeah.
What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from having a big family?
Mm, I could think of a few, but I think the number one right now is really just being able to say no.
That
I
is so
think
good.
I think that right now I'm learning that no no is a full sentence. No. I don't have to say no and make something up. I don't have to
Yeah.
say no and say, oh, because I'm doing a podcast with you. No, like I just know, you know,
That's
I think being an
real.
older sibling and having that parentified child role put on me at such a young age has been like everybody looks to me, I feel like a lot. And I definitely needed to learn like, no.
And it's almost like no is such a negative thing in a household where everybody's like dependent or like
Yep.
everybody's looking for you, looking to you for something. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost guilty to say no. Like,
No, yeah, that's some real shit. Like, oh my goodness, you don't even know. Like, I in college, I had to like text all my siblings and my mom personally and say like, "Hey guys, I really just need you guys to like kind of like don't talk to me." Like no, like on some real shit. And I remember my mom calling and being like, "You told my kids not to call you." Like da da da. And I'm like, "Bro, like it's not like I don't fuck with them. I don't want to have a relationship with them, but like I need y'all to stop asking me and calling me, period. Like, I
yeah,
need this time to figure out who I am outside of this household. And I can't do that if I'm constantly running back home all the time. I went to school 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away.
yeah,
Luckily, hopefully an hour if there's like traffic or something, but like in a very I'm very accessible distance. So like I had to have that time and realize like I can say no. Just like you said, I have my own life. My life is not revolve around my siblings or my parents
yeah,
or nothing. Like I have my own life. And if I get off of work and I want to go home and I don't want to do anything, I'm gonna do that. Like you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like I don't need to explain that to nobody. So that's definitely the thing that I've been learning recently the most. You know, from having that dynamic growing up.
And I feel like even with like me, I feel like that kind of stemmed, or not even stemmed, but like it kind of manifested as me being a people pleaser in adulthood
Yes,
because
yes.
I'm like always accessible for everybody, always feeling bad if I can't do something for somebody, always feeling bad if I don't want to do something for
Yep.
somebody. And I think that that kind of harmed my adult decisions because and it's something that I'm actively outgrowing day in and day out. Like you said, I don't have to make up an excuse. There would be times where I couldn't do something, my hands were tied, but I didn't think that the thing that I was doing was important enough for people for me to say no, I can't do it because I'm doing this. Because they'll look at it as, oh well, that's not important though. So
Yeah.
now I gotta come up with something that's way
Elaborate.
yeah, like
Yeah.
something that's like you can't even combat.
Yep.
And it's like not even my truth, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, so I know that you were saying that like having a big family and stuff like that. One of the effects of adulthood was like anxiety and stuff like that. And well, not even just from adulthood, but like that is something that like kind of came from that.
Yeah.
Um, so adding on to that, what are some of the biggest mental health challenges you have faced now being in your 20s, not teenage you, not, or maybe we can say like from like 18 to 20, like adulthood.
Okay. I would say due to a lot of situations that were out of my control as a child, I was always expecting the worst, if that makes sense. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was always constantly trying to prepare myself for the inevitable things that I knew I was out of my control. Like I'm not even gonna get into like this shit that like would happen, but like
Mm-hmm.
shit that should not have been happening. You know what I'm saying? Like was happening, and I guess when something's just when things are so unpredictable, you kind of just try to stay on your toes about things, and it kind of causes you to have like a doomsday type of and mentality, like, oh, things are good now, but I know something bad's about to happen. Like, I had to force myself out of that mentality. Like, I would be having a good couple weeks at school and then be like, damn, I'm probably gonna fail this quiz because like things have just been too good.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a bad it was such a bad. I do not like the way my head looks from that angle. Anyway, it was such a bad it's such a bad way to think. Like, oh, I just know something bad's about to happen because life can't be this good. Life can't be this good right
Mm.
now. Like, things would be like that. Things would be fine, and then something really bad would
So you
happen.
were constantly preparing for the worst.
Constantly preparing for the worst. Something that I'm working through now, because now I have more control over my life. Obviously, God is like in control of everything, but like I have more control over my life. So the things that would happen was due to things that people were in control of, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So
Yeah.
like it wasn't like, oh, someone passing away or something like that. Well, even though that was a thing, but like somebody passing away, do things that there's things that were happening were because of people's choices. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like I'm adult, so I'm an adult, so I can make choices to make sure things like that don't happen. So
Right.
even though I'm not in control of everything, the things that I am in control of, that shit would never happen. Like,
Yeah.
um, so definitely that. Definitely caused me to have a lot of anxiety, like growing up, just anxiety that, oh my god, what would happen if something happened to my mom and I had to take care of all my siblings, like just having the most outlandish thoughts, that things that will probably never ever happen, but just like me feeling like I have to think about them just in case this happens and I have to be prepared, like, which is a very toxic way to think, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Another thing is feeling like I can never like outgrow my childhood, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to be more Dominique and less like, I wanted to be myself and not be defined by the things that happened to me or the things that I went through as a like as a younger
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like, I wanted to be like, that stuff doesn't define me. Like, okay, take away all the traumatic things or like the negative things that happened in my childhood. Like, who am I outside of that? I was realizing that like my personality and my feelings towards things was really wrapped up in all the negative and not in the positive. So I really had to take a step back and analyze, like, okay, if this stuff never happened to me, what type of person would I be? And I wanted to be more of her, less than the other,
Mm.
that the version that I was.
And that's a good mindset to have, to be not to like dwell on that and not to make that like, oh, if this didn't happen to me, I could be this and I could be
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
If this, looking at yourself and saying, okay, this is the type of person that I would have want to been. I went through everything. Now let me be that type of person that I would have wanted to be outside of this
yeah,
trauma. That's like such a good take on dealing with like trauma,
yeah.
just dealing with unfortunate situations. Like, I love that. How do you handle the pressure of balancing personal goals, family expectations, and self care? And I know, kind of like when we were talking about the family things that you kind of talked about, I feel like saying no is definitely self care. Like, I think
Yeah.
that that really ties into it. And so, I feel like you kind of hit on that. But
I think to that question, right now, I think I'm doing a pretty good job at balancing it.
what do you do?
Like, what do
Like,
I do to balance?
yeah,
Um, really just being more selfish, like doing things, like doing what I want to do. Like, I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about roller skating, didn't I? Like weeks ago,
yeah,
and I was like, we should just go today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just doing what I want to do because I have money. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I don't need to like wait for the perfect day or wait until, like, even like my best friend was supposed to come and she couldn't come, but we still went. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Not like no one monkey doesn't stop the show. Like,
yeah.
whatever. And as far as balancing my personal goals, like, honestly, my personal goals are more important to me than everything. Like, and I mean, of course, my family is very important, but right now, this season in my life, my goals are the most important thing to me. And I think
Mhm.
that's okay to say. I think there's a stigma that, like, oh, your family has to be number one in your life all the time, or like your kids, or like, no, fuck that. You were born. you're on your own and you get to choose what is the most important thing in your life depending on the season that you're going through. And
Yeah.
right now, I'm 22. I just graduated college and I see myself living a specific life. So right now my focus is putting myself in a position to achieve that lifestyle that I want. And unfortunately, if I have to put other shit on the back burner, then I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
because it's lonely at the top. Like, and that's just the reality of it.
How has your view of your mental health changed from when you were younger to now?
I mean, other than the fact that like mental health is actually being recognized,
Yeah.
like honestly, when I was younger and I was like having suicidal thoughts and I did not even understand what was happening. I felt like I was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
nowadays we know what depression is, we know what anxiety is, we know what PTSD is, we know what, freaking BPD, like all these things that we know now that have been happening for so long, but have been swept under the rug or like not taken
Or
seriously.
categorized as
Yeah,
something
and not
else.
categorized as something. Oh, that's just what it is. You're just a girl. You're emotional, like whatever. But like I remember being young and having suicidal thoughts and having anxiety and not being able to put a label on it. Um, made me feel crazy. Um, and also, but now that I'm an adult and I'm able to recognize like yes that was depression, like I was going through depression and I was also simultaneously going through puberty. Both of them can be happening at the same time. And
Yeah.
I think there's like a idea that like, oh, they're just going through puberty, like you'll get over it. And yes, she probably will get over it, but that doesn't take away the fact that women and girls and boys, whoever, non-binary, whatever you are, can be going through a physical change and mentally struggling at the same time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but yeah, like now as an adult, I'm much more aware of my mental health and I do try my best to stay on top of it as much as possible. And honestly, surrounding myself with people that are also aware of my mental health struggles, things that I do go through. I do have anxiety. Like that is something that and other mental health things do run in my family that I haven't been like diagnosed with, but I know is a possibility. So I
Mhm.
try to stay on top of those things so that I don't wait until I'm 30, 40, 50 to know like this is something that I struggle with. Like I try to
Yeah.
stay on top of it.
So, what advice would you give someone about setting boundaries and prioritizing your mental health in your 20s?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm the best person. I don't know if I can give the best. Like I
Why
don't know.
couldn't you?
I don't think I can give advice because I think you have to go through it. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like when people think of advice, it's more like, oh, this is advice to prevent me from having to go. No, this is advice for like after the fact, kind of like I don't know if those thoughts are making sense, but
So, what would you tell someone like, okay, yes, they will go through it, but how would you tell someone to how did you cope with going through it?
obviously trusting in God because God has guided me through everything. Like I can't even say, "Oh, I did everything. Everything worked out because of me." Like no, everything worked out because of God. Because I prayed to Him and I went to Him when I felt like there was no way that I was gonna get out of that season or out of those feelings or out of that situation, and He made it work for me.
Right.
Of course, I am a very positive and like optimistic person, so not dwelling too much in those feelings and knowing that like there is always light at the end of the tunnel. There are resources out there to help you. There are people out there that love you and care about you and want to see you do well. So not really basking, not really like sitting in those feelings for too long. It's okay to like feel those feelings, but like you can't expect to get better if you don't do anything to like put yourself in a better situation. So
Yeah.
whatever makes you feel good, going out, doing that, spending time with your family. Like I remember a lot of times in college, I would have to come home because like that's where I could recharge. Like when I went with my siblings and we went shopping, went out to eat, and I got to see my mom, that was refreshing to me. Like that was like, okay, kind of putting things back into perspective to me. Like, okay, things are hard, but like this is my family, this is who I'm doing it for myself. And just coming back home and being like able to just like, okay, this
Yeah.
feels good. So yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna get to the I don't want to say the most important part, but like this is like the more dumb part. Like this is like the thing that I really wanted her on here for. And we're gonna talk about your career.
Yes,
Talk about your
queen.
career.
Yeah.
Can you just for the people who really don't understand what you do, just in case there are some people who resonate with like you and your personality and are looking for something to do. Can you just kind of like explain what it is that you can do with your degree and like what type of
Yeah.
careers you can go into?
So like I said, I graduated with my BA in journalism with the sports specification. Journalism is a very broad degree. Like you can get into data journalism, you can get into editorial, you can get into photography, you can get into art journalism, like so many things. But me specifically, I got into editorial, which is like writing articles, and then on air interviewing like athletes, professional, all the high school, collegiate athletes of all kinds and all different sports. So what I did in college was just that I took part in a lot of editorial writing pieces on sports, like current sports topics,
Mm-hmm.
sports teams at my school, what was going on with them, and then of course like conducting my own personal interviews, mostly yeah, all courtside interviews. So yeah, like if you were to go to college and you go to school to get your journalism degree in sports, honestly, like the world's your oyster. Like you can do social media, which is something that I'm probably going to be getting into, fingers crossed, with this job interview that I did a couple days ago. You can get into social media, you can get into editorial, on air
Mm-hmm.
broadcast, all types of stuff. So it's a definitely a lot of things that you could get into. But that's just what I do specifically.
So a question that popped up into my head that I think may be a question that a lot of people are thinking, do you have to like writing?
People will tell you, yeah, but I've gotten this far and I haven't had to do a lot of writing.
Okay.
It's weird because journalism, when you think about journalism, you think about writing. Like that's
Yeah.
like the whole thing. And yes, I did do a lot of writing. I have a lot of articles. I wrote a lot in college, and it's definitely not my favorite thing to do, even though it is a passion. It's a passion of mine, but like I like to do on air stuff more. But I would say as long as you're willing to like get through the editor, get over that like hump, okay, check it off your box, you did it, but you want to focus on something else, you can. Like you don't have to love writing. It doesn't have to be something you've been doing for 5 years, but as long as you're willing to do it when you have to, because you got to think about it, like if you're trying to reach a certain audience and you go work for like, for example, like the Philadelphia Inquirer, like that's a magazine. Like you have
Yeah.
to learn how to write. You know what I'm saying? And like it's it's doing a stepping stone. It's like it's a stepping stone in this industry. Like you have to know how to write, and then you can like translate that into other things. So yeah.
All right. 7 seconds. What is your dream job?
I want to be a silent reporter for the 76ers. Period.
Oh, okay.
That's
We didn't do
honestly, like honestly, well, obviously the 76ers specifically because we're from like close to the Philly area. I
Yeah.
grew up watching them my whole life. I have a really close family relative that is like, was really closely affiliated to the Sixers. And I just love the Sixers. Like I'm just a Sixers fan. I'm a Maxey fan. I'm an NBA fan. I'm a Allen Iverson fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to be the reporter for the 76ers. That's my dream job. But if I could do it anywhere else, I would definitely be a reporter for the Charlotte Hornets. Um, the Heat. Try to think.
Why did you say the Heat?
Because I love Miami.
Okay.
I love Miami. I feel like if you have a job in the sports industry in Miami, you're outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine being my age, being a reporter for the Miami Heat and just being down there, like in
Yeah.
general. Like, I just feel like it would just be a blast. In Charlotte, because I love Charlotte. Like, I've never been, but I love it there. And I feel connected to that place. And I like the Ball family too. So yeah, like,
Hmm.
another all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did you start building your network in the sports media industry? And what advice would you give to someone starting out?
Um trying to think, let me think. So my first internship, which was my first opportunity to build like a network, was with the Sports Fan Base Network, and I was a sideline reporter at the Brotherly Love Program, which it happens in Philly has been happening for the past 4 years.
What sport?
Is basketball,
Okay.
men's and kind of like women's basketball, which is my favorite sport to report on. Even though I do like watching, I like reporting on women's lacrosse, which is kind of random, but I like that. Um, I was gonna say, so that was my first opportunity, and I honestly just like showing face all the time, saying hi to whoever walks by. If you do get into this industry, there's always people doing camera. There's always people doing BTS. There's always people doing editorial, and there's always people doing videography. So like getting to know them is gonna advance you. Is gonna put you in places where people know the people that you know. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's really this industry is all about who you know. Like trust it, it really is. It really is about who you know. Of course, hard work, but outside of that, it is like who you know. Like even on my interview this past Thursday, the person that was interviewing me knew the person that I did my internship with in college. So like on the name basis, just like me. So it was that those are networking opportunities, things to put yourself out there. But some advice I would say is definitely just to be confident. You can't do this job if you're scary. I've had people in classes that went graduated with the same degree as me, but like didn't even like getting up in front of the class. Like bro, what? Like you're conducting interviews, you're going up to
Yeah.
people, you have to have personal, close conversations. Men are sweating on you after, like you know what I'm saying? Like this is
Yeah.
like a very intimate out. You have to have a personality to do this type of job. So being outgoing, not being afraid to be told no, because there are gonna be people that do not want to talk to you.
Right.
People are not gonna want to give you a quote, they're not gonna want to interview. Don't take things personally and just like have what it takes. So yeah, that's definitely go to job fairs. Oh my goodness, I've DM'd people that have never DM'd me back, but like if I ever met them, I'd be like, oh my god, I used to DM you, like you know what I'm saying, or like
Yeah.
whatever. DM them. Can we get on the phone? Can we talk? I want to create a relationship with you. Like, how are you doing? Like, I saw you did this. Just small little things that will really take you far that you wouldn't even think. You know.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So, what is one of your favorite things that you have done in this industry so far? Like your favorite experience?
Well, my favorite experience was definitely last year I got to do the Danny Rumpf, which is a program that happens every year in Philly. It's been going on for 19 years at
Mhm.
this point. And it's basically a fundraiser for like heart research. I think it is based off of a very popular basketball player who unfortunately passed away on the court playing basketball due to like heart related issues. So
Mhm.
the founders they decided to start the run to like bring awareness and professional athletes, of all kinds, and just really good notable players in the city come out and they play every year. And I got to have some really good experiences, meet some really really super cool people that helped me advance my career. I was able to add my footage from my interviews to my reel, and it was just a really really good experience. And I was so blessed to be able to do that. It definitely opened a lot of doors for me. But yeah, that was my favorite experience that I had so far.
Okay. Are there any don'ts you've learned about networking in this industry?
Don't. I think I wouldn't say I had to learn this, but I would definitely say like if you are a girl, don't be talking to these athletes that you're interviewing. Like
Yeah.
you need to be professional because there's already a stigma that we women do this job to like um
Get close to the
to get close
athletes.
to athletes, advance their career through like the men that they like work with. So I would definitely say like one big don't is to like be professional, because if you're professional, people are gonna know that you take your job seriously and that it's not a joke to you, especially as a woman. So don't be, flirting, interacting with them outside of like what is professional and like what you're
Yeah.
being paid to do.
Can you give an example of how a connection you made led to a career opportunity? I feel like you kind of
Trying to think.
talked about that with like the person you did your
Oh
internship
well,
with.
yeah. My first internship at Brotherly Love, the one of the founders of the Dating Rumpf was there. And I think I told this the last first time we did
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah,
did.
was there. And the previous year, some girl from my school who was a senior had did the internship that same internship at the Danny Rump, and she got to interview Tyrese Maxey. And I remember being like, I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey fan, by the way, like everybody knows. Anyway, got to interview Tyrese Maxey last year, and she like had graduated, she had a good job. So when I found out that that was him, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to meet, like, I need that. Like, I need that. So I
What did
went,
Brooklyn say? I'm gonna hunt.
I want
I
hunt.
want
I
that.
want that.
I
I
need
need that. I'm
that.
gonna be that. Like, that's what I need. I needed that. So I remember going up to him and like I was so nervous. And I remember he was walking by and I was standing there and he just watched me stare at him. And then I got scared and I started walking away. And he was like, "Did you guys like want to talk or something?" And I was like, "Whew, thought you never asked." And then I went over to him and I was like, "My name's Dominique. Like, I really want to do the rum so bad, like, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "Okay, I got you." I got his number down. And that's how I was able to do the other thing. So even though it wasn't like it was a network thing because he was there at the thing that I was doing. So I was able to get to meet him. And then I got to
Yeah.
do the rump that year, that same year. So it was really back to back for me. 2023 was a really good year for me. 2024, not really.
We gonna
But
try again.
2025,
Yeah, we gonna try
that's my
again.
year, baby girl.
We
Yeah.
gonna try
So
again.
we're gonna try again. I'm excited for 2025. But yeah, that was definitely one experience that like a networking experience that led to another opportunity.
So why did you get nervous?
I was about to say something, but I know my fans are gonna watch this video like 5 years from now, and I don't want to be prejudged. I was nervous because I was scared of the rejection. That's
Yeah.
really all it was. I didn't think that, and then I'm gonna say it like because I was black. I'll be honest, like
Yeah.
I was nervous that like, and the girl that did it the previous year, she was black too. But like, I guess I just got nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm just like this little black girl. Like he probably already has somebody else that's gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
what if I don't look like the part for somebody that he wants to have on this stuff? Like, I was just scared, and I guess I just didn't want to face the rejection of him being like no. But I'm shout out to you, Mike, because
Shout out Mike.
shout out to you, Mike, because he's super cool, and I actually got to do some work on another thing that he founded. It's called a Victoria North is I believe it's a nonprofit like basketball training for like kids in North Philadelphia.
Oh, so you
So
love
so yeah,
basketball.
I love basketball. Like that's actually that was probably another one of my favorite things that I got to do. I never got to like put it out
Hmm.
because it was for a class, but I guess I still could have, but I never did. But it was super cool. That was a really good experience. So yeah,
So why basketball?
my basketball.
Like, do you think that basketball is the most interesting sport to watch?
No, I don't think basketball is the most interesting sport to watch, but basketball, I grew up on basketball. Like I played basketball. I'm not gonna lie, my dad, my biological father is the reason why it's basketball because he is an avid basketball fan. He's crazy. Anybody from town, y'all probably know my dad. He be acting crazy at Oak my whole life. He's crazy. And I guess just really, really just him.
So yeah, you were saying your dad's always at Oak. Did you play for the Oak Leagues? Because
I
I
did
did.
not.
I
You
did.
did. Oh my god. No, I did not. Honestly, I think my dad used to ask me, and I would be like, no, because I was just too embarrassed. Like Oak. Okay, for people that are not from town, Oak is like
Oak is like Central Park.
that. Oak, yes, Oak is like the most like what's the word? The attraction of the summer for
Yes.
sports. Like, but anyway, no, I never played in the Oak League, but I did play for the PAL. And I did play for Plymouth Meeting like basketball league.
Oh my gosh, I played for Oak one year. And first of all, okay, now I'm telling a story. So actually Jared, who I interviewed, I was on a team with him
Her
and his
Jared, shout
twin
out to
brother. Shout
Jared.
out to Jared. Um, and I was literally taught my whole life. Like I probably was 5'5" until I was 5'7". Like I've just been taught my whole life. Like I'm not about to put a
Not
whatever
gonna put a
on.
label on it.
Not gonna put a label on it. So I knew nothing about basketball. All I know is that I'm tall. My dad is tall. My dad is 6'9". So he is like extremely tall. All my siblings are tall. Yeah, I decided to play for Oak and I knew nothing about basketball. Just the fact that everybody's like, you have long legs and you're tall, you should play basketball.
So
Like
super
the
annoying.
classic. And I was the center
Oh,
because I
per
was taller than everybody on the
a
team.
not taller than all the boys.
All the boys, all the boys.
I can't find this picture of my old basketball team, but
that was my life. I was always taller
but,
than every boy ever.
yeah,
But
not her man now. It's like
You better clock that. You better clock that. But yeah, I was playing basketball. We won a trophy. I would put the picture up there, but like this is actually
Listen,
I'm never. If you ever find this picture, I swear, if somebody ever posts that picture, trust I will get your page
you
taken
will
down.
be dealt with.
You will be dealt
You will be
with.
dealt with.
If I ever see that picture, you will be dealt with.
You will be dealt with.
Oh
Listen,
my gosh,
no,
it's so
seriously.
embarrassing.
Oh my god, I wish I could find this picture of me and my old basketball team because I want to actually. Maybe I'll send it to you so you
Yeah, so
can
I can
like
put it
clip
up
it in. You
there.
could be like, bloop, this is Dom, and zoom in to little rat picture. I'm crying. Anyway,
I don't think anyone has worse young boy pictures than me. Like I
no, I'm
was.
not gonna lie, Sienna, you were chronically online. So me now when I do get famous, they're definitely gonna get collect some shit on me.
No, they're gonna annihilate
Oh
me.
yeah, I was on Vine, baby. I was
Boo
on Kick, baby.
kick.
Listen. This is just a
Stay
PSA. Can
down.
I put my apology video out now?
I'm so sorry for
I'm
everything that
so
I
sorry for
posted
anything I
online.
ever
I
offended. If
didn't
I ever
mean it.
offended you.
I didn't mean. No, seriously.
Anyway, go ahead.
Is there someone in the industry who gave you valuable advice early on, and how did that impact your career path?
I would say my mentor
I was about to say, what about
Dorian.
your
My
mentors?
mentor Dorian. Oh my gosh, I met him at SFBN, and he's just been such a help, like such a big help since I started. Like just he's a writer for the Bills now, which is
Mm-hmm.
like crazy because I remember when he was in grad school trying to figure things out, and things did end up working for him. But he gave me so much advice early on. Just and he's still even to this day when I had my interview on Thursday, I was like calling him like, what should I ask, and like this and that, and he's always like giving me life and just letting me know like this is what is gonna be for me. And like anytime I'm questioning it, he's like, no, Dom, this is for you. Like you're the best. Everything's gonna work out for us. Me, Dorian, Liz, and Morgan. Those are like my sports like friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I love them. Shout out to them. They all three of them have given me a lot of good advice. So
How did you go about finding a mentor for anyone who wants to get one?
I didn't find a mentor. We just met. We were both doing the same internship, but he's not much older. He's like 24, 25. So
Mm-hmm.
he's older than me, and he was just like in grad school. So I
Took you
kind of
under
just,
his
yeah, took me
wing.
under his wing. Anytime
Yeah.
I needed help, I would go to him. But I would say, as far as advice, finding a mentor, just like I said, don't be scared. Reach out to people. Hey, is there any way you can give me some advice? And you start to build that relationship, build that connection. And the next thing you know, they sending you internships. Dorian sends me an intern every time he sees an internship. He sends it to me like anytime there's anything, call me. So no, shout out
Period.
to Dorian
Shout out to
because he's
Dorian. Give my
definitely
girl right.
get your girl
Mhm.
right. But
You better
no,
be watching this because we giving you
no,
your flowers,
no, he
Dorian.
definitely is gonna
Oh,
watch. I
okay.
know he's gonna watch. Yeah.
What strategies or approaches have been the most helpful in making authentic connections?
Strategies.
How do you, when you want to go up to somebody?
Oh my god, girl, being myself. Like just being myself. Like I honestly feel like I get very far just not even having to do too much. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just going up and just being like, "Hi, I'm Dom. It's so nice to meet you. I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you that I really love your work." Or like I see what you've done before, and I was wondering if you can just give me some advice. Or hey, like I know you do this. Is there any way that I could possibly be a part of it next year? Or
Mm-hmm.
when's the next time you guys are doing this again? I would love to do that. Or listen, so many things. Like, can I interview you? Can I have a couple minutes to do an interview with you for 2 seconds? Like, just being myself, being confident, not being afraid of, like, back to that whole thing. Like, don't be afraid of rejection. There's gonna be times when people are like, I don't want to talk to y'all. Like I lost the game. I like people be mad they
Yeah.
lost. They don't want to talk. Whatever it can be is like. Then you just got to be like, okay, find the next person, find the next person. Coach don't want to interview you, talk to the player. Player don't want to interview you, talk to the assistant coach. Assistant coach don't want to interview you, talk to the fans. Fans don't want to interview you, talk to the person running it. Like you just have to keep, and then
Yeah.
your story will come. Your story will come from the pieces that you put together.
Is there someone, like, can you think of somebody really quick off the top of your feet that you would want to interview? Five, four, three, two.
Probably Tyrese Maxey
Okay.
because I
Okay.
love Tyrese Maxey. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. Like I've been watching him since he went to Kentucky, and he just seems like such a very genuine person.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, Malika Andrews, Taylor Rooks, yes, I would love to interview because those are two black female reporters, sports reporters, and I just love them down. Like they are definitely two women that I look up to. So as
Mm-hmm.
far as like people that do my job, definitely Malika Andrews, definitely Taylor Rooks, definitely Lauren Rosen. She was the previous reporter for the 76. She works like for the Clippers now, but definitely them three. Like I would love to interview them and just get to know like what it took for them to get to the place where they are today, and like what advice they had for me, and like what caused them to want to like be in this career and do what they do, and advice and all that good stuff. So those are definitely some people I would love. Stephen A. Smith,
Yo,
I would
he
love
be
to. Shannon
wildin'.
Sharp,
He
I
be
would love to
wildin'.
interview all of them, like just on some just like
Hey,
casual, hey, like
like they play his like morning show every morning at my job because I work at
okay,
a sports bar. So
yeah,
like he be on there
Stephen A.
wildin'. Like I was like I one time I had FaceTime Willie and I flipped the camera and I'm like, who is
Is
this?
this
Because he's always on here
acting
screaming.
crazy?
And Willie was
No.
like, yo, like no.
I have his book. It was so good. He had a very challenging life growing up. And one thing I think he said in the book was that like he worked so hard so he could be in what is the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Inexpendable. I think that's the word. It means like you could like I am so good that you could like never get rid of me. So I hope that I'm
Hopefully that's the
saying
word. We're gonna make sure that's the
inexpendable,
word.
unexpendable. I don't
We're
fucking
gonna make
know.
sure that's the word. But I'm glad you said this because I don't know anybody's names. Like as a like literally like celebrities, anybody. Like
Yeah.
as a journalist, I feel like something like you know people's first and last names. You like have to know people.
Yeah.
So like how do you even have the capacity to like know all of these people? Like
Oh my god, you know what's so crazy that you think I know so many people, but one thing that has prevented me from like starting my own podcast, I feel like I've talked to you about this personally, is the fact that I don't know a lot of people. Like I feel like I don't know like who won the national champion, who won the finals in 2012, like other people would just randomly know. But the
yeah.
reason why I do know is because I I be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And I don't never want to be, you don't never want to be in a situation where you're meeting somebody and you're supposed to know them and you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I need to know I need to know, like, I need to know who I'm talking to. I want to
Yeah.
know, I want to be familiar with the people that have previously done this job. And I want to know the type of people that are in this industry so that I can, like, see what they do and then try to, like, put that into the things that I do.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I'm just also, when you're doing an interview, and you don't know somebody's name, you have right before the camera goes air, you got to be like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, Isaiah Smith. Hi, everybody. I'm here with Isaiah Smith. Isaiah Smith, you had so and so points tonight. Tell me a little bit about. Tell me what it took tonight to get the win, whatever case may be. Is like you have to remember that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Isaiah. All right, thanks, Isaiah. Thanks so much. Like you have to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Even when they're talking, I'm repeating the next question I'm about to ask in my head over. I'm not listening to a motherfucking thing that they're saying. I'm just,
We're making
making sure
sure.
that I know because the last thing you want to do is go, oh, I kind of am forgetting what I was about to. No.
Say,
So, yeah, no, you don't ever want to be like that. So you just got to be on your toes, you
okay, we're
know?
about to test down right now.
Oh,
Interview me.
interview
We're flipping
Siani.
it.
Oh my goodness, interview
And your
right
like
now.
interview voice, like say, I don't know, you could ask me about whatever, but
Okay.
like interview voice, whatever,
Okay.
on the spot.
Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm here with Siani. Me and Siani decided to do our podcast today, and I really noticed her outfit. Siani, tell me a little bit about what inspired you to put this out on today. Go ahead. You got it. You
Well,
got it.
well, actually, I was going for a little bit more casual. I was going to just wear like a crop top and some sweatpants, but actually, you were my inspiration today because I sent you my outfit and I mean, I sent you what I was going to wear, and you had told me what you were wearing. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be super casual. Maybe I should like have a cute appearance and like dress up and look nice for my podcast because I feel like that will bring people in. And not saying that I can't be comfy or anything like that, but just more so looking a bit more presentable for my audience.
Yeah. How important is it to you to look good on camera because you are in the process of promoting your own podcast?
I mean, it is very important to me to a certain extent. Like I feel like some of the angles that maybe I've been seen in is unflattering to me, but it's like, uh, actually, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know I've been fidgeting a lot because, like, I have my leg up here and I'm like, oh, let me put my leg down just in case my ankle ashy. So it's like, it's
Oh
like
my
certain things that
goodness.
I've been like cautious of, but like for the most part, like I'm like, I know that I look good in person. So if it doesn't transfer well on camera, it's
It's
like,
like it is what it is. Like
yeah.
this is how I look in real life. Well, let's kind of redirect. What would be some of your advice to someone out there that is trying to find their own sense of fashion, and what goes into your what thoughts go into your head every single day when you're trying to decide what you want to wear?
You need to start a podcast. Okay, so when it comes to fashion, people ask me this question all the time, which is so funny. Like, all right, so even
Would
with
you
my,
say you're a fashionista?
I would say kind of. I think
Okay.
that I kind of fell off. Um, but one of my biggest inspirations, although I hate with a passion to say this, is my mom, and I hate to say this
Ah,
because she's already so conceited and she's already so
yeah,
up here that her hearing this is really just gonna like it's just gonna ignite a flame in her.
yeah.
But the one thing I love about my mom is that she's very bold with how she dresses and like I'll call my mom and I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable. Like I don't like this outfit. And she's like, no, because it's not about being comfortable. It's about being authentic. And if you like it or if whatever, wear it. And so she took me to my first thrift store. I'm like big on thrifting. Like I love thrifting. That's my favorite thing to do ever. These pants actually are thrifted and they're actually shorts. Like these pants are probably my favorite thing in my wardrobe because I can unzipper these and turn these into like cargo shorts if I want to,
Which
or I
is
can
super
just wear
cute.
them as pants. Like they're so cute. And then I got this from H&M, but definitely just like buying staples and buying things that are not trendy because things that are trendy always go out of style. And I've literally had to throw out my things in my closet time and time again because I was following trends. I wasn't dressing according to my body type. And so now just like really getting to know yourself, getting to know what you like, what is flattering on you, because everything that's flattering on someone else is not going to be flattering on you. And that's
Yeah,
like really a hard lesson that I had to learn. Fashion is really
subjective.
subjective, just like beauty is subjective. Fashion is so subjective. People will literally say what you're wearing is ugly until Kanye West wear it, until
Hmm.
Beyonce wear it, and then it's a trend.
Yeah.
So wear what you want to wear what makes you feel comfortable. I love this. Oh my gosh, not you flip the
This turned
script.
into my podcast,
Not Dom flip
guys.
the script. Not me on here talking and giving advice,
Ah,
but it's fine. I love that.
yeah, me
You're good on your
too.
feet, Dom. Like
Girl,
you're
you
good on
have
your
to be
feet.
on your feet. Like that type of job, like you just have to be on your feet. Anything can happen, you know. Listen, like I always think about like what would happen if they like decided to pour like the Gatorade on me. Like at the game, like and
They
like
do that.
they like pour they'll like championships they'll start popping bottles, like doing all types of stuff, like but to celebrate. And I'd be thinking like, what would I do if
What
that
would you
happened?
do?
I think I would just be like,
Would you embrace it?
yes, of
Yes.
course I would embrace. I'm not gonna be like, I ain't got enough. No, like it is what this is the
Even fresh
industry that
silk
we're in.
press?
No, I would be fine. I would
Okay.
be fine. I have 3C. Like I'd live.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm super passionate about what I do. It was a really quiet year for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get any opportunities that I wanted. But that's fine. Like there's gonna be seasons where things are good and there's gonna be seasons when things are bad, but I not like bad, like you're not getting the opportunity that you want. But instead of me dwelling in that house for too long, of me not getting anything, nothing's working out, I kept applying. I kept doing this. And after one thing I really wanted to say on the pod today was every no is gonna make that yes feel so much better.
Yes.
I probably got denied maybe by 20 plus jobs by like opportunities, but I got my first call back this week and I cried.
You can always use a no to grow. So like
Yeah.
someone tells you no, okay, why are they telling you no? Maybe you don't
Yep.
have enough experience. Maybe your
Mhm.
resume is not what it
Mhm.
should be. Then you can really look into things because a lot of times we rush into things that we want and we
Yeah.
aren't really well
Ready.
prepared for them. Yeah.
I wanted to I could comment on that because right now I'm doing something like career in my like right now for work. I'm doing something very customer service based.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not the career path that I want, but I was sitting in my bed last night and I thought about it and I said, I'm so grateful for this experience. Like, of course, I'm a people person. I know how to talk to people, but I don't know how to talk to people that I don't like. And
Yeah.
I think in life, no matter which career, you're always gonna have to talk to people that you don't like, you don't get along with. Learn how to de-escalate things that I did not know how to do. If I would have got a job straight out of college, I would not have been prepared for the actual work that I was gonna have to do.
Yeah.
So now that I'm in this position now and like opportunities are coming up, like coming out for me, I'm so appreciated. Sometimes it's not about your resume. Sometimes you are qualified. Sometimes on paper you are ready, but in
Mhm.
another area you're
You're
not.
not
And
right.
God is the only person that knew that I was not ready. And I had to go through this. I had to go get this customer service and this like other experience to add on to the type of person that I was going to be when I do get that opportunity that I thought I was ready for. I wasn't ready for it. So now obviously I feel like I'm ready for it, even though I know I could probably use a little bit more time. But I'm grateful for this experience, even though like I don't really love the job. I'm grateful. I learned so much that I'm gonna be able to like carry into my actual career one day. So yeah.
The moment that I knew that like I was gonna love Dom, last year she had came to this event that I was having here, and she literally talked to me for the whole night. And mind you, I am such a yapper, y'all. Like right now we're filming this at an hour and 21 minutes. Like we've been talking. I'm such a yapper. Y'all, Dom was sitting here and she was like going back and forth talking with me, and I'm just like shocked.
This is my type of
I'm like, there
girl.
are people out here who like really like to talk how I like to talk. Like
Yes.
people will let you talk but not be interactive. They'll let you
Yeah.
talk, but like you don't know if you're actually like annoying them.
Yes.
But
Oh
like
my God.
like when you were talking, I was like literally soaking everything, and I'm like, I'm always the yapper. I'm always the you need to do this
Yeah.
for your life.
Right.
You need to go harder. Here's
Uh-huh.
here's what I know. Here's opportunities. Here's this. Here's that. And then to like receive that back, I'm like, wow, like
Yeah.
that is so nice. Like that
I
was
was so, listen, this is like off the same thing, but like the whole year until C started the pod and I like talked to her, I was like, she probably thought I was so fucking annoying that night because I be taking on that role unconsciously. Like,
yeah,
oh, I be seeing something in somebody and I be like, girl, you need to do this, you need to do that because like I wish I would have wanted people to do that to me more.
yeah,
So like I guess I just be talking and talking and talking. I was like, oh my gosh, she probably thought I was so fucking annoying. Her and her other two friends were there. I know they was probably like, this old bitch, like she needs to shut her mouth.
mind you,
But
she's only like 1 year older
I
than
know,
me.
but I feel like the thing of another thing is this was off topic. I want you to get back to what you were talking about, but like I feel like because I'm young, I've done a lot for my age. Like I'm 20, I was
Yeah,
21 and I graduated college. Like most people don't graduate till like 22, 23, like whatever.
yeah,
So, and I went to college, I was 17. So like I've always been young doing everything that I'm doing. So I always be feeling like we be close in age, but we be far in like
yeah.
life
In life,
experience. So
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, go ahead, keep talking about how much right.
Um, yeah, but I just like so nice. And me and Dom literally actually had this is not our first time ever meeting. Like
No,
we went
yeah.
to the same summer camp
Yeah,
when
we
we
were
were
little.
younger. Like this is like life just wanted us to be together. Like
No, yeah. Isn't that
honestly.
so crazy how things just like happen
Yeah.
in the most weird ways? God will
Yes, we
bring
were
you
just
back to
talking about this
people.
last night too. Just like the world being so small and like things just
Yes.
being like
Things just
interconnected.
interconnected. Like things will
Yeah,
literally happen to bring you and like somebody together. So
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that. I love that so much.
You're welcome.
Me and C, we really be talking. So
We Virgos.
I know, and we're both Virgos. So if anybody wants to analyze this, I'm sure they'll be able to tell.
No, seriously.
But I was gonna say like how I feel about you. I'm so glad that you started the podcast. I want you to keep on posting every week. I want you to get people on here that inspire you. I want you to stay authentic.
Mm-hmm.
This is your pod, and I want you to have full control over that. And I just want you to keep going. Like even in those tough moments, this is not going to be easy. But nothing in life worth having ever comes easy. So you have to make sure that you stay true to yourself and keep working hard because it's really all gonna pay off. So I just thought, like I said, on the last time we filmed the pod, y'all better watch out because I'm telling y'all, a year from now, I really see really big things for you. And I don't say that If you know me, you know I don't never say nothing like that to nobody, especially if I don't really think it. So
Yeah.
you know how I feel about you. Yeah,
I mean, we Virgoed it out.
we Virgoed it out.
Like
We did our thing.
the energy, like, you know.
It's top tier.
But y'all, thank y'all so much. First of all, Dom, thank you so much
Oh,
for giving
thank
me some more of your time
you.
because, we
Yes.
literally, this is our second take.
Yeah.
So, thank you for coming on
Of
here and thank
course.
y'all for tuning in. I hope that y'all really enjoyed these topics. I hope that
Yes.
if anything that Dom said inspired you, first of all, let her know. Do you want to put
Please.
any of your stuff?
Yes, please. So I'm gonna hopefully you can like put it like on here. But
Okay.
like my Instagram is dom.megan MEGHAN. You can message me on Instagram like whenever. That's really, and then if you want to email me, my email is Dominique DOMINIQUE, the letter M, Vincent VINSON at gmail.com. So
Okay.
you guys can email me too if you need any help, or if you want to just if you have any questions about what I do for work and you just need a little bit of direction, I am happy, happy, happy to help.
Her DMs are open only for work.
Only for
Only
work.
for work. Clock that thing. But yeah, I'm thankful for y'all tuning in and like, supporting me and supporting the podcast and just being here for the growth. Like I said, I want people to come on. Like I want people to talk about their lives. Like I want whoever wants to come on here to come on here.
Yeah.
And I hope that if you could relate to any of this, to let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this video to someone who you
Yes,
think may
please.
need to hear what me and Dom were talking about, even if it's not on anything with the sports side, the sports media side, on anything.
Yeah.
Send it out, support us, and just thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you, C, for letting me be on the pod.
You're welcome. Okay, bye guys.